That was a lovely introduction, Tony. I don't normally admit that I was a chartered accountant, but I will admit I should be in protective custody at the moment. It's been quite a week. This is a very hospitable and caring group of people, and I'm very grateful for the experiences I've had. I've learned an awful lot about McLaren Vale. And to be honest, in studying for the MW, which I did complete, by the way, Tony, McLaren Vale was tightly linked with Grenache, and to be honest, that's about all I knew. So it's been a lovely learning experience, and it started with topography. Andrew arranged a lovely ride in the biplane, the Moth. So I got a good sense of your topography. I learned some new ways of marketing wine on premise when we went to the Victory Hotel. I learned that you have dry winds, which was quite interesting. In Chinese, the word for dry is gan. Can you say gan? Good? Okay, so I learned about your dry, warm winds. I got a good soil dissertation from Chester Osborne. And by the third day, I understood that Fleurus, that I had studied for years, is actually Florio. So, in terms of the show, you should be very, very proud of this show. It's exceedingly well organized and efficient. And we certainly went through a few glasses. Does anybody know the Chinese word for glass? Bei. Bei. Yeah? Can you say it? Bei. Okay, good. And I learned a few other things. I learned that I need to work, even though I was an ex-chartered accountant, I need to do some brush up on my math skills. I learned that every time I write the word earthy, it means I'm the only one scoring the wine high. And probably to my worst chagrin, I learned that when it comes to a pub crawl, I cannot keep up with the McLaren boys. In terms of the wine quality in the show, it was wonderful. Certainly red is your strength. There's no question there. And what impressed me most were the GSMs, the Grenache blends. I think they're a unique proposition you have for the world. And I know that unique propositions are sometimes difficult to sell at the beginning because they don't have the market recognition, but I really think that is your strength. They knocked my socks off. I know you've all been there, you pick up a glass and your heart starts pounding, and that's what happened throughout that flight. So please take a close look at that blend and see if it's something that you want to promote aggressively as a region, because it's a real strength of the region. In turn, I hope that some people out there learned a bit about Asia, because it's certainly a market that's going to rock our world. China has the fastest growing wine growth in the world. It is granted, albeit on a small base, but it's moving like mad. We have the highest concentration of billionaires in the world. We have an official middle class now of 300 million people. Just to be clear, that's far more than the whole of the US. So 300 million people. And I think although the market is vast and a little bit scary, it's concentrated in 3 cities, so it's not that bad. So Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. And lucky for you, they're very fond of red wine. They rarely drink white wines, so you are moving in a position of strength here. And the wine is seen as very aspirational. So you've got a lot of the young generation are the wine drinkers. So that means if you can get locked in early, you're with them for life. That being said, in China, there is a bit of work to do, particularly in wine education. A couple of months ago, I was at Changyu, which is in the north of China, and it's one of the better state-run wineries in China. And just to give you a little perspective, 4 years ago, their wine was selling for $1 US a bottle average, and they're now selling at 10. This is state, domestic production, not brilliant. You guys have brilliant wines. But while I was there, we were having a bit of a table discussion. By the way, that company is now worth $4.2 billion US. A lot of consumption in China. And while I was there, there was a table tutorial by the managing director. So he had his winemaker and the management team around the table, and he was showing off his wine skills. So he said firstly to everyone, you must think of the wine glass as a woman. You always keep your hand around her waist. Lovely. And then he continued, and he taught us about wine aroma, how you swirl the glass. So we all carefully swirled the glass, sniffed the aromas. He explained all about wine appreciation and aroma. And then you know what he said? Okay, ganbei, and tossed it up. Do you know what ganbei means? It means dry glass. You just said it, ganbei, dry glass. So we have a bit of work to do in China, and I'm counting on this region to pull their weight, because what I've seen is a young, dynamic, active, committed group of people that are willing to work together. And I wish you every success on that. Ganbei.